Hey Suresh, how are you?
Hey Rahul, I'm doing good. Thanks. Hope you're doing good too.
Yes, Suresh. Can I please request a favor from you?
Of course.
I have designed a resume for my job interview which is due next week. My college sir had told me that my resume does not seem to be good for interviews. Could you please read through my resume and give me suggestions?
Absolutely. I would be happy to help.
Thanks. I'll send my resume. Here.
Yes, I guess your professor is right. You have added too many details and it looks very confusing.
Is that so? Can you please help me with what I should do to create good and better resumes?
Sure. I suggest that you join the Future Perfect program.
How will they help me?
They will make you job ready. They will teach you how to create a good and a perfect resume for your job interviews.
Thank you so much. I will register today.
Sorry, I was thinking about what to add in my resume for my interview next week. Tell me, have you ever had difficulty in creating a resume? Have you ever wondered which format is correct and which format is incorrect? Hello students, welcome to yet another interesting day at the Future Perfect program. And yes, sometimes we have great difficulty in creating a resume. We spend so much time before an interview in deciding how to create a resume. We keep adding things in the resume, then we delete whatever we've typed, and then again we keep adding sentences in the resume. We also stress about whether we have created the correct resume or not. So if all of this happens to you as well, don't worry, because you're not in this alone. Today, we're going to learn how to create a resume, and we're going to learn about this together. Let us pronounce the word resume. Resume. Wow, that sounds good, right? Let's do it again. Resume. Now, can you all take a guess as to why creating a resume is so very important for a job interview? Yes, that's correct. A good resume will help an employer get to know more about you. By looking at your resume, an employer can quickly get to know about your skills, your interests, your education, your work experience, etc. Now, how do we make a resume? A resume is a document which contains details about you. It will contain details about your education, your experience, your skills, your talents, and your interests. This is what is called a resume. Now, there are some important things you need to keep in mind before creating a resume. A resume has 7 important components: headings, profile, education, experience, skills, extra activities, and references. Headings are the titles in your resume. Your name and contact information will be your first heading. You could also have subheadings for each section of your resume. Next comes your profile. Profile is a short summary of your skills, experience, goals, etc. Education will include details of your qualification from class 10 to the final degree which you received in college. Experience would include the total number of years or months which you have worked for. If you are a fresher, you could maintain that you have no work experience. Next, we move on to skills. Now, skills are the talents which you possess which will help you work in an organization. For example, communication skills, critical thinking, planning and organization, problem solving skills, etc. Extra activities are things which you do out of interest, like interior designing, or dancing, or swimming, or singing, things like that. And lastly, references will include a letter from your college principal or your former manager stating that you have a good code of conduct. Now let us have a look at an example of a good resume. Let's play a game. You have to tell me which of these statements are true or false. Let's begin. The first one is, a resume is a document which contains details about your education, skills, qualification. True or false? The second one is, a profile in a resume contains details about your age, marital status, date of birth and address. True or false? The third one is, a resume helps your employer get to know about your education and skills. True or false? And lastly, which of these is the correct pronunciation? We've learned about why we create resumes and how we should create them. So now let us have a look at some do's and don'ts while creating a resume. Keep these points in mind when you're creating a resume for your job interview. Include a recent picture of yourself. Keep your resume very simple. Avoid writing about your strengths and weaknesses. Check your resume after completing. Check for spellings and errors. Keep updating your resume every month. Some don'ts are, include your age. Use 2 different fonts in your resume. You should not use 2 different fonts in your resume. Include details about your marital status, your parents' name, your nationality. These details are not required in a resume. Include your hobbies and religion. You should never write about your hobbies and religion in your resume. Write your resume in third person as he, she or they. Because a resume gives out details about yourself, you should write in first person. So use I, but try not using it in every sentence. Put your signature or declaration at the bottom of your resume. Again, this is something that is not required on your resume. And lastly, make sure your resume is not more than 1 page. We have reached the end of the class, students. So let us play one final game. I will say some statements and you have to say yes or no to them in less than 7 seconds. Are you ready? Let's begin. The first one is, keep your resume very simple. Do not write personal information like your age and address. Mention your education, skills and interests very neatly. And lastly, sign your resume. So today we learned why we should create a resume so that our employers can get to know more about us quickly. We also learned how we should create a resume by using the basic components, which are headings, profile, education, experience, skills, extra activities, and references. And we also learned about the do's and don'ts of creating a resume. Thank you for your patience throughout the class, students. I hope you understood all the points that are required while creating a resume. Thank you and see you in the next class.